it's Laura here. Welcome back to Boomx Beauty Beat. If you are not subscribed, you might want to get subscribed. My channel is all about beauty, lifestyle, and self-help for the over 50 woman. And so today I'm going to take you down my little journey for getting a panniculectomy. Otherwise, you can know it as a tummy tuck, but what I had done did not involve the muscles. It was just a removal. So if any of you guys have been hanging out with me for a while, you know that I've gone through quite a transformation, weight-wise, health-wise. It's been a 2-year journey, and I've lost like a lot of weight. And I'm into the very last 10-pound home stretch, in my opinion, maybe 15. We'll see when we get there. But needless to say, when you go through quite a dramatic weight loss, there's always going to be skin and things like that left behind. And also, you know, I'm a mom of 2. And with this journey, I've already had a breast reduction. And now we've gone on and done the panniculectomy 3 days ago. Stay tuned, and I'm going to give you all the prep that I did and where things are looking. You'll see my before and afters. So stay tuned to the end of the video for those photos. And definitely I'll be here for any questions for you guys. Let's roll. So I thought what I'll do is I'll tell you the story of the surgery first, and then I'm going to show you all of the prep items you must look at. You cannot go into surgery for this without at least reviewing these items, and then go ahead and choose for yourself which ones are really important to you. But there are ones in here that you just don't want to live without. So let's just start with the story behind the whole procedure and how that went. So walking in for surgery, they take your weight and then they take your height. I worked really hard in order to get my weight as low as humanly possible before the surgery, because the lower weight you are when you get it, the better the result. So essentially, I got myself to for my age and my height, to a point where I'm technically not overweight at all. I'm like within my zone as to where I should be for my age. So, I mean, essentially I could sit at goal right now and feel okay. I do feel like I want to do a little bit more, maybe 10 more, but that's just kind of vanity pounds at this point. Nothing that's going to change my health in any kind of way. So my last weight before the surgery was actually less than after the surgery, and that is due to fluids accumulating in the body. Plus, you get constipated most times, and that is a big thing to have to battle the minute you get the surgery done, to make sure that you're doing some things for your bowels, because you don't want to get all botched up in there. It adds to the pain levels and the stress on your stomach and stuff. And I'll show you what was used for that as well. But, so I'll tell you what happened during the surgery itself. So I've been on a wait list to get a panniculectomy for, like, I would say a couple years now. And like I said before, I started with the breast reduction surgery first. And then the doctor gave me the green light to get the next procedure done. The tummy tuck does often involve the muscles. In my particular case, he did not need to cut into the muscle. And also, I did not have any drains. So I'm so blessed for that. And if you could find a surgeon who doesn't really like believe in drains, maybe that might make your life a whole bunch easier when you get the surgery. So basically what it is taking off all of the extra skin and fat around the abdomen area that has kind of gone all mangled from either weight loss changes and or, you know, babies and things like that. And sometimes it's just the way that your body's structured and heredity. So I will tell you what it was like to go in for the surgery and what they kind of did. So basically what happens once you go in is that you will get meet up usually with your anesthesiologist. The anesthesiologist is there to ask you some questions and just make sure that, you know, he understands what sort of you've gone through with anesthesia before. For me, I get highly nauseous afterwards. So I had a special meeting with him at the hospital, asking him if he could put a patch behind my ear or do anything like that in order to help with the nausea from the anesthesia. So they didn't have that particular patch available in the hospital, but once I explained to him that I do go through like a massive amount of nausea. Then he went ahead and incorporated whatever meds that he had available to him in order to lessen that. So basically what they did was put an IV in and put that medicine in ahead of time. And also I asked for the bit of medicine that will lessen the amount of burning that you get through your veins when you go into the anesthetic. So these are things that will help make your surgery itself much more okay to get through. So remember about your nausea and remember about the burning before the actual general anesthesia goes in. So I had a general anesthesia. I had up here, it's my hand is kind of mangled. I guess my veins are real small. So they had a hard time. He was jabbing me 4 times in this, and it got to it kind of like, that was the worst of it, was trying to get jabbed multiple times in order to get the IV in. So they had to transfer over to this hand and finally found a vein, and then started putting that medicine in slowly that would help to stop the burning from the anesthesia. So I hope I'm not talking too fast. I'm trying to get through a ton. There's a ton of information. So once you get put under, everybody always worries you're not going to wake up again, but these guys are experts and they know what they're doing. One thing I did make sure that I did beforehand is I took my Laneige mask, lip mask, and I made sure that I really moistened around my lips. Because what happens after you get put to sleep is they have to put tubes down your throat. And then you get, I got some swelling on the inside of my lip, like little bumps from all of the maneuvering that they had to do inside my mouth. And so the Laneige moistens your lips, and so they don't get cracked and add to the pain around your mouth area. So I really recommend using a lip balm or some kind of lip mask in order to go under and just, you know, take care of all of that jazz. All right, so now we've got that underway. So I get put under, that goes fine. And then the next thing that will happen is you're going to wake up in the recovery area. And depending on, you know, where you are, what your hospitals are like in your area will depend on, you know, what they're going to do with you, whether keeping you overnight or having a day stay, sort of varies depending on. Also, the cost of this varies on where you are, and I'm here in Canada, and also if it's medically necessary. If it's medically necessary, meaning your skin is interfering with exercise or wearing clothes, or you're getting sores in between skin folds and things like that after your weight loss, you can often go to government and ask, or to your surgeon and ask if it can be covered due to medical necessity, and that's going to be their call. Here in Canada, something like this procedure costs between $12,000 and $20,000 ish to get done. So if you can get it covered, obviously you guys try, because it certainly is a huge benefit if you can, and that's just all going to depend on how dramatic it is for you after your weight loss. Anything over the 80-pound mark tends to be something that they'll green light for that panniculectomy to get done, because it will leave enough leftover skin in a valid way. And your weight loss, you're trying to better your health, and so often they will give you the panniculectomy as opposed to a tummy tuck for medical reasons, and that way you get it covered. Just giving you guys a heads up on that. So let's just go to after the surgery. So got out of surgery, and you know, you've had all these drugs and stuff and you're feeling fine. And then what happened with me is I did have a complication. I have fibromyalgia, and when you're cutting into the belly area, obviously there's just a ton of nerves in there. And this happened to me also with my breast reduction surgery. So I should have been sort of mentally semi-prepared. I was kind of wondering if it was going to come. So I'll explain to you what happened, and it's kind of scary. So waking up from all this, it wasn't feeling too bad because they, you know, put a lot of stuff in me for the pain. But what they tend to want to do after the surgery is give you like anti-inflammatories, some Gravol, and usually like a T3, Tylenol 3 for the pain is kind of their protocol depending on where you're at. So for me, what ended up happening is the meds started to wear off and the fibromyalgia kicked in and it started to make me convulse. So I started to convulse, like uncontrollably shake to the point because the pain levels became absolutely unbearable for me, probably for anybody with my situation. And because of the fibromyalgia, they had to kick into some kind of solution gear. And there was like 5, 6, 7 people running around trying to deal with this extraordinary pain level that came out of nowhere. Normally, you will not go through that kind of dramatic event if you don't have that kind of disorder, the fibromyalgia. Normally you can manage the pain, but with me, what they had to do is come in with a diallude, or I think it's called the good stuff, okay? The really, really heavy duty stuff, and get that all calmed down, because until the nerve endings were like not in a complete hysterical panic anymore, I couldn't stop the convulsing. And so a couple hours later, they were able to get things under. I'm laughing now, but it wasn't funny then. And I had some amazing nurses who held my hand and got me through that, because you have to get approval for heavy drugs like that. And so you have to wait, and you're in the middle of this convulsive thing. So for me, it took a little minute to get that under control. Once they did, I was able to, kind of stay several hours, and they could see that I could get everything under control. So then from there, here's what happened. So once they can get you up to the washroom, once you could I took some Tylenol 3 later on. They gave me a piece of toast, a carb, and peanut butter on it and some milk in order to take Tylenol 3, because anything like that with the codeine in it is going to make you nauseous as well, and also not great for you to take on an empty stomach. So that might be something to consider, to keep a snack with you in your bag or whatever in case, so that you're ready to go for that. All right. So I'm going to go through supplements now of what I took in order to prepare for all this. And then towards the end of the video, I will show you all of the before and afters, and I'll stand up and show you where it's at right now. There's just so much to show you guys. All right, so ahead of time, if you can, like about a week ahead of time, you take these 3 times a day. This is called Arnicare. Arnicare, it dissolves under, you take 2 of these, they dissolve under your tongue, and it's good for muscle, joint pain, swelling from injuries, and bruising. This is going to help keep the bruising and the swelling to a minimum. So you just take 2 of these out and put them under your tongue and let them melt down. You'll want to reduce down on your other supplements that could possibly thin your blood or change the consistency of your blood ahead of time, just to make sure that you do not, bleed or clot or anything like that. So let's keep going through all of the supplements. This is another one that was recommended to me by a friend. It's organic. It's by, or Plant Vital, organic chlorella. I take 2 of these. They're like these green, they look like chlorophyll, green, they look like grass in a pill. Take 2 of those, and again, it helps with swelling and bruising and all of that good stuff, and skin repair. The chlorophyll is excellent for skin repair, so that is something you want to have. Definitely. Next thing I'm going to show you is vitamin A. That's a really good vitamin to incorporate in when you're getting a surgery like this, because vitamin A supports night vision, eyesight, and skin health. So this is going to help you with your skin. Don't forget to get your zinc on. You want to make sure you've got zinc. And then I'm going to go into some of the different meds as well. So I have here what's called M-Tech. M-Tech is a Tylenol 3 without the caffeine, so that you can sleep. So in other words, just make sure you guys are realizing that sleep's super crucial, and if you're taking pills that will stop you from sleeping, it's going to make it more difficult for you. So we're going to go into what I did to sleep as well, because it's super tricky. Alright, you're going to need an anti-inflammatory, so I've just got Advil here, and then I recommend getting, as soon as you can, off of this and just get into regular extra strength Tylenol. So basically what they suggested to do, and what I've been doing, is staggering 2 hours of this, 2 hours of that, 2 hours of this, 2 hours of that, and that way you kind of always got something active in your system helping you with pain and inflammation, but you're not taking them together, so it gives your system a chance to kind of roll through and not like bog it down too much. Right, we're going to get into sleep next, because that's super important. So I'm going to show you sleep ingredients, and then I'll show you sleep equipment. So you guys know I like to get the THC for my sleep, and I definitely needed this every night since I had the surgery. And basically you take drops underneath your tongue, and the dose is going to depend on, you know, yourself. So I don't want to recommend anything in particular for a dose. But what can also help you with sleep and also with nausea both is, of course, Gravol. So make sure you've got Gravol handy. And my other emergency sleep medication is Benadryl. I take that when I can't sleep, and if you're in a real tough situation, take it all together, you're going to knock out for sure. So I'm going to show you what I have for going to the ladies' room, because that's going to be crucial, and then we'll go to the different various equipment pieces that are needed for this journey. Okay, so you're going to want to get yourself some pitted dates. You're going to want to get some pitted prunes, and you're also going to want to get yourself some prune juice. I used up my prunes, so I don't have a bag to lift up for you. And then what you're going to do is chop up the dates and chop up the prunes into tiny pieces. Take a paring knife if it's tough, and just take it off and get yourself about, you know, like 6 and 6-ish dates and prunes, and then overtake them with the prune juice. And then what you're going to do, isn't this yummy looking, is you're going to take your magic, you know, like your little magic blender or NutriBullet or any kind of blender, and blend it all together. But I suggest that you let it soak in the juice for like maybe 45 minutes, an hour, and that way it'll soften down the prunes and the dates. And then when you blend it, it won't be so hard to blend, and the juice can get absorbed a little bit into the prunes, and that makes just a killer awesome little loosen you up. You need to take those 2 tablespoons 3 times a day, and if you get sick of it, just like pop it on top of some yogurt, or pop it on top of some frozen yogurt, and a few nuts, and it's more palatable that way, because it is really sweet and thick, but the ingredients of that sugar helps to collect water in your bowels to help that all soften down, because medication's going to make things get really kooky in there. And it took me 6 days to get things moving again, just letting you know. Well, 5 days, sorry. 5 days, yeah. Today was a good day. We'll just put it that way. Just doubling up on the issue, and get yourself some Metamucil. This one doesn't have any sugar in it. And, you know, help yourself to a glass of that each day, just until things really start working really well. And definitely going to have to get yourself up and walking ASAP, because it's going to lessen your chance of getting a blood clot. And so I did right away. From the very first day, I went and did a few blocks, and then I keep expanding that on the daily basis, and walking in a slow, flat surface for the first couple weeks, you'll be able to definitely do, and increase that each day. So you want to get that blood pumping, you want to get that moving, you want you know, everything to fluid-wise shuffle around and do what it's supposed to do. So let's show you some cool stuff as far as equipment to help you with this whole process. All right, the next thing I'm going to show you guys is this nifty thing. The very first thing I did was lose my slipper under the bed. So having something like this with the little grabber on the end, you can go ahead and grab bits off the floor, because the first few days, if you don't have someone with you, you cannot bend to the floor. So you're going to need a little grabber guy. You can get these on Amazon, and they are super duper handy, and I totally recommend, yes. And because I can't bring my wheelie thing here, I'm going to show you guys what I've been using for walking. If you can borrow a walker, it's very advantageous, because at first your stomach is going to feel tight, and you're going to be hunched over a little bit, and so having a walker is crucial. So let me just show you the walker I have. I have a fancy walker, because I actually had a really bad back before, and so I have, this is like it's expensive, you guys. This is like a $500 and $600 walker, but you can get ones for a lot cheaper, and you can get them used, or you can borrow, with any of the above. But I really do recommend that for when you start walking afterwards, or just have to maneuver around the house, because you've got that support. So let me show you what that looks like, and I'll post. The next super important thing to carry and gadget is something like this, a hot and cold pack. And I mean, I've put it onto your stomach, and I've spent a lot of time with this on my stomach, and it just soothes the pain so well, and also helps with inflammation, obviously. And this is frozen. I've gone the cold route with this, and it's frozen, and it does amazingness to your pain levels. So I keep putting it into the freezer, or you can have an alternate that you could switch out and keep putting into the deep freeze or whatever you want to do, and so forth. You also are going to want in the shower, like for me, I'm going to show you what I used. I have this special stool that I got, and I'll post a picture of it here. Basically, the stool can go in the shower, so it can get wet. And the first couple of days, I sat on the edge of that with my bindings on, and I was able to just kind of like wash my legs, wet my hair, and not get anything wet. And so sitting on that stool and bending forward and just kind of being able to wet my head down just so I feel refreshed, especially the first 2 days, you know, you feel grubby after the hospital and all that. It was awesome. So you need a shower head converter, something that you can pull down and like move around you. So make sure you look into a different shower head, and they're pretty cheap at any hardware store. You could replace your shower head with something handheld. You'll want that for sure. And if you can, get a disability stool or some kind of stool that you don't mind getting wet, and put that in your bathtub, so that the first couple days are manageable as far as like giving yourself sort of a sponge bath-ish. And I carry some like cloths nearby so that I can wipe in areas that need wiping and all that good jazz. Hi guys, I just wanted you to see this real quick. Is the pillow that was loaned to me, and this pillow here is for under your knees, but this will keep you secure and on your back, and you can put your pillows up here in order to sleep, but it'll keep you securely on your back so that you don't have any issues falling off. And you could always put this aside like this and get in and out of, but this pillow is a lifesaver. So here's the walker that I'm using. This one has got like cushion on it, so it's nice and soft, and an adjustable kind of thing. And these brakes are great for if you need to do that. And also if you have to carry, I've got Kleenex in there. If you've got to carry your purse or anything like that, you're not going to want to carry anything, and you could pop it in there. And this is adjustable as far as height is concerned. So it's just a really good and advantageous thing to have if you can borrow one. So I am now going to show you where we're at for tummy. I hope we're at that place. I think we are. So let's show you that. I just want to preface to say that the first day or so, you're going to actually be less swollen than you are a few days later. The amount of fluid and tension on your stomach really increases the first week. So you're going to find the first day your stomach looks quite a bit flatter, and then you get a little bit puffy for a while. But it's okay puff, and it's really hard. So I'm going to stand up and show you guys, and obviously I'm still in recovery. And so what they did with me, let me lift up. So yeah, so see this here? This is kind of weird, you guys. There's like, let me just angle this down a little bit. Okay, so showing you, here's some befores. We'll do that as well so you guys can see what it looked like before. And for me, a major part of the issue has to do, I hope it's okay to show you guys all this, has to do with the skin that was down here. That was a major issue. And I'm just going to turn sideways so you guys can see. So what's happening here is he tried to match up my belly button to the scar here. This one up here, I had a laparoscopy many years ago. This, what you see here, is some surgery tape. This will all come off probably at the 2-week mark. Right now, what's happened is all of my bandages were removed yesterday, and so I'll just show you on the side so you guys can see this. All this swelling right here, this puffiness, that is just fluid, so that will go. It will go. And basically where the cuts are, sutures are, whatever, This is all internally sealed, so I can actually have showers and get them wet and everything like that. So it's pretty awesome that way. And I didn't get drained, so you can see it just ends at about there. This is just all like tape residue. This got taken off yesterday. So this little bloop right here, that's all going to go like in. So just keep that in mind. We'll turn this way. So what I want you guys to see is, see right here how there's like little divots? Because they go in and they really pull up, it's almost like a mattress. And you get like weird little divots, and you feel kind of a discomfort there. It's kind of weird. And this looks really like awful, but in actuality, it's not so bad after 2 days. It really doesn't hurt that bad to me anyway. So what I'm obviously most thrilled about is the fact that there's going to be, when it's all the swelling is down, there's going to be no protrusion. I almost feel like I can see possibly some of the muscles underneath that I've been working on for the last couple years. Kind of can see a little bit of it, but I'm sure once I get going some more, it will, So I'll just do a full turn so you guys can see, and I have to kind of move slow. So you guys can see sort of the full whatever. He did get some of the stretch marks out, but again, we're probably harboring about 5 to 7 pounds of fluid. So just keeping all of that in mind. So this will all be way less. And also keeping in mind that it took several days in order to go to the bathroom. And I just went the first time today a little bit. So there's a lot of days of that in there too. So what I wanted to do is show you the binder. So this is the binder I got. You can see it's kind of gotten a little dirty just from the hospital and stuff, but all I get is the one from the doctor. And when they put it on me at the hospital, they actually put it upside down. So when I went in yesterday to the doctor, she said, "Oh, this is all wrong." So basically, I'm hoping I don't do this backwards. It took me a while to figure this out, you guys. So basically, this is tabbed in ABCs. So you can see here there's a B, there's an A, and a C, so that you can kind of like see where to do this up. So basically what's happened here is I'm learning still, and I don't feel all that confident that I'm doing this perfectly right, but let's just show you anyway. So I'm going to look for the A first. I believe A to be the kind of like middle holder here. So I'm going to take the A from each side. God, I'm so embarrassed to be showing you guys when I'm just learning this myself, but this is what I can figure so far. And if I'm wrong, please tell me, you guys. I'm trying to help, but I am by no means an expert at especially this part. So what you want to do is be able to, like, the reason for this is to squeeze the fluids. And what she explained to me was the fluids will be, see, look at all this yuck, making do with that. The fluids will be needed to be pressurized so that it squeezes down in the right areas in order to help you with your recovery. I swear, you guys, I am still fussing with this thing because I don't know what I'm doing yet. I've only just learned this yesterday, so you're going to have to cut me a break. So this is the B thing, but I know when I was at the doctor's office, she pulled it pretty tight to have that on there. And then there's 3 flaps. So this is the B I did first, A I'm doing next. I've actually changed the order of this depending on what mood it's in. where I find it difficult to kind of like maneuver. So basically what you're trying to do is just pull it tight so that you got pressure. But what I want to explain of what she told me is that, listen, you're going to be squeezing fluid. Here's C going on now. This looks so completely wrong. I'm so embarrassed. This is so wrong. Okay, I'm going to need some help with this, guys. This doesn't look great at all compared to what they had it yesterday. I will learn this. I will learn this. But basically what's happening is it squeezes it down into your pufa, into your vagine. And basically with that, you might get a little bit more soreness and fluid, she explained. Soreness and fluid in that area because it's pushing the fluids down. So I am feeling so gimpy that I cannot do gadgets very well. If anybody knows what I'm doing wrong, just let me know. I'm sure I'll get a shout out by tons of you guys. I'm embarrassed, but I will learn how to do this a little bit better. And the idea is it just needs to feel secure, like your stomach feels secure. You don't want to leave it without the binder. This needs to be worn for approximately 8 weeks. So get used to it. And the other point I wanted to give you guys is I've got this underneath my clothes, but technically speaking, what they recommend is actually putting the binder over a camisole, like a form-fitting camisole over top of that. And that way, you know, wearing this binder for the next 8 weeks, it's not touching your skin, because our skin, like, you know, if you get sweaty or whatever, you can't really wash the binder properly. So maybe it's washable, I don't know, but you have to wear it all the time. And so basically, what she had recommended was to wear a form-fitting camisole and then put the binder on top of that, and that will help to keep everything intact and to keep you feeling comfortable and to keep squishing out the fluids. Go for your walk. Don't lay there lazy in your bed, because that's going to give you more danger for blood clots and stuff like that. And you want to keep it moving. But then after you've moved, you need to come back and you need to rest, nap, do whatever. And just be really mindful that you don't over push your, your stitches. Move really slowly and carefully and slog along. I will probably do an updated one once, maybe in about a couple of months-ish. We'll see how it goes, to when everything flattens out, because I think it takes 2 to 3 months to really get all of the swelling calm down and stuff like that. I hope this has been helpful, and I hope all the things that I showed you are going to help you in your journey as we go along the way, learning how to do these things for ourselves and trying to make sure we do our little transformations and transitions in the best way possible. So I hope this has been helpful. Let me know down below any thoughts, concerns, or questions, and I'll do my best to answer. And thanks again also for subscribing and joining me on my YouTube journey. Love you guys. Okay, I hope this is helpful. And do what you need to do for you to make you feel good about yourself, because that's what I'm doing. And we'll see you guys real soon. Bye for now.